It's Jennah&Katy, you know that, and we're here to say welcome back. That was way better.
Okay, hi guys. I just wanted to jump on here real quick because some of our audio got messed up. Big surprise there. Hopefully we'll be getting a new camera this week, if not within the next month. So this will stop happening. But basically, the clip where the audio messed up was basically why I moved to Texas in the first place, and just giving a little background before I go into the story as to why I moved back. And so I feel like it just kind of pulls it all together, or makes you understand the whole situation a little bit more. But why I moved to Texas in the first place was kind of just, I didn't have anything planned. I didn't know what I was doing really. I had always wanted to move to the South. It was something I always thought about. I know Texas isn't necessarily the South, but it's more southern than where we live now. So to me, it was the South, or the closest I could get to the South. And so one of me and Katie's best friends from high school already had like a job lined up and was planning to move out there. She kind of just jokingly was like, oh, you should move with me. And I was like, you know what, like I really don't have plans. Like I had just graduated college a couple months prior, and I had just been helping out my family. And so I was like, I've always wanted to, like, why not do it now? I have nothing currently holding me here. I didn't have like a job lined up. I didn't have like a boyfriend. I didn't have anything really, other than like my family being here. But sometimes you gotta leave your family and go explore and figure things out on your own. And so I was like, this is like a great opportunity. I should go do it and see what happens. And then hopefully the rest of the video should kind of explain as to why I moved back and everything. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it made the farting noise again every time. Okay.
Gross.
I'm not 5. Am I?
I don't remember where I left off.
You were just trying to figure out how to word. So you said 3 weeks in?
Oh yeah.
Right, 3 weeks in.
So, like, we moved out there in August 4th, I think we actually got to Texas. We drove there. And then, like, 3 weeks to maybe a month, I had some, like, personal things come up within my family. And it just, like, really took a toll on me, I guess, in a way. And from then on, it kind of was a different mindset of me being in Texas. And then a few months later, another personal thing occurred, and then a few months after that, another personal thing occurred. So in a span of about 8 months, there was like 3 different tragedies that happened, I guess, within my life. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's because I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so then I guess just I developed having like anxiety and just being away from my family, and my sister got pregnant.
An intentional thing.
And so
like K-A-Y.
I'd say after the 3rd, well, I developed really bad, like, flight anxiety, and so being a 3-hour flight away was, like, awful. It got to the point where, like, I would come home, and then, like, I'd be, like, on the ground of home as in, like, San Jose home, not Texas home, and it'd be, like, time for me to leave, and I'd, like, be on the floor just, like, crying because I didn't want to leave, and, like, I didn't want to get on a plane, I didn't want to, like, go back to Texas at all. It was just so hard.
It's okay, you're doing great. It's okay. You got this.
I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm in therapy. I would do awful in therapy because I would just laugh.
They'd be like sitting there waiting. Are you done yet?
I would just be like cracking up the whole time.
I'm sure they've dealt with a lot worse than someone laughing through their discomfort.
I'm trying to think of everything. I feel like I'm starting to block it all out. That's what I do. I just block the trauma out.
You can decide whether or not you're keeping this in there. But But I just remember you wouldn't really want to go out a lot because of the anxiety, aside from the flight anxiety.
Yeah, I barely, like, we had, like, a good solid group of friends, and I, like, always would get stomach aches when we were out, and I'd, like, most of the time I'd end up going home, like, early before everyone, or if I did stay out, it'd be, like, miserable for me, and I just was, like, did not want to be there. I feel like I kind of turned into, like, a miserable person. Like, I feel bad for my roommate. Because I was just like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to go out. I don't want, like, I just want to be at home. Because that's where, like, it, like, felt, like, safe, you know? And then, I don't know what else. Also, Texas is really just, it's a lot different than you would think. No, I'm very fortunate. I loved, like, the people, and I wish those people, like, were here, but they're not. So the people I was, like, surrounded with were great. It was just, I think, putting myself in that environment.
Sorry, I was trying to suffocate
You made
my
me
yawn.
yawn.
I was trying not to yawn before when I was like, I was trying to suffocate. I'm like, it might look like I'm trying to like hold back tears right now. I'm trying not to like start crying, but really I'm trying to suffocate yawns to do today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
anyway.
your friends, you were saying that you wish that they were.
Oh yeah, I
could
loved
be
all my
here.
friends. They were so great, and I don't even think they really even knew what was going on. You know, it's not like I was.
You didn't want to go out, really?
Yeah, it's not like I was like openly like, ooh.
I guess they didn't really know you were like before then. Either.
Exactly.
Like in college or high school, so they didn't
Yeah.
really know that you were more social.
And which makes it even more awesome that they like thought I was like still cool despite all these things.
Yeah, exactly. They still wanted to be your friend.
Despite me being like a miserable person. I went on like a family vacation to Disneyland during this time, and I was there, or I came back for like a week, and then Disneyland is like one of my favorite places. I
want to go. I was thinking about it recently.
I love Disneyland like so much. It makes me so happy. My heart just pitter patters all the time. And then I kept getting like anxiety while I was there, and like even like I'd be like standing in lines, and like I'd have like freaking out, and I'm like, oh my god, what if I throw up on this ride? Because when I get anxiety, or I like get like sick feeling, I don't get like, I get like my heart races, and then I get like really nauseous and like all that stuff. I feel like that's not like the most normal of symptoms. I feel like, I don't know, everyone has different anxiety symptoms, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I've had it, it wasn't nausea. It definitely was heart racing.
Yeah.
It was that, and I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, see, I get that, but then I get like sick. Like I'm like sick to my stomach. And I'm like, I'm gonna like throw up or like poop my pants or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those aren't completely abnormal symptoms. I just feel like
No,
like
I
you're
did
saying
a lot of
there isn't
Googling, and they said that was like normal.
Yeah, because I also was like really shaky. Like I could not stop moving. My leg was like shaking, and I was just like.
I feel like your body does things that are like, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, so I don't actually know. This is just me, like, theories. Well, this could be a conspiracy theory video. But
Not really conspiracy. It's just like
just a theory. A thought is that your body does things, it knows that you'll, like, realize that something's off. Does that make sense?
Like you mean that survival instincts and mechanisms will kick in because
so
it is like
for
a warning or like a survival attack.
Yeah, like for you, it's like you're not typically like shaky and all that stuff, so it does that so you know something's wrong. I'm typically shaky, like I bounce all the time no matter what.
You do.
So if I were to do that when I have anxiety, I wouldn't know I'm having anxiety, you know?
The way that it's signaling to you.
Yeah, I feel like your body signals in a way so you...
Maybe. Who knows?
I know, I don't know.
There.
I'm not a doctor.
No, I'm saying like not just like, oh, who knows? Like, who knows? Anybody watching?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Comment below.
Is this a thing?
Josh.
Again, just my brother.
But yeah, so basically I was there and like we bought like I don't know what it was. It was like front row seats to one of the shows, and you like pay to like sit, and you get like food and drinks, and then you can like yeah. And I remember we were in line for like Monsters Inc. and I started to get really bad anxiety, and then we went to this show and I went to sit down and I was like, I can't be here anymore, and I like left and I walked back to the hotel by myself. And at the time I had like a stomach ache, and I was like, oh, like I don't know, I just don't feel good, like I can't be here, I don't know, maybe the rides or something. And then I like thought about it like after the fact, and I was like, oh, honestly, I think I'm like having like, I had really bad anxiety about it. And so that's when I kind of like realized, I was like, something's wrong, that like I can't even be at Disneyland and be like happy and content. And I was like with the people who I thought would like solve the issue and like everything. So it was just weird. And then that trip was kind of the trip where I was like, I'm done. Like, I cannot go back to Texas. And I remember I was like a mess when it came to the day of me leaving. And I was like, I don't want to go back, like in tears. Like, I was like, I don't want to go, like, at all. And my mom was like, you don't have to, it's fine. Like, we'll figure it out. I'm like, I have a job. I can't just like, so I just like forced myself back. And then, my job actually like knew something was up, because like the next day when I went to work, my mood was like not normal. I was just kind of like confused and sad and everything. And then I remember they like asked, they're like are you gonna like leave us or something? Like my GM had asked that, and I was just like, no. But like I had no idea. I had like so many thoughts going through. I didn't know what was going through my head at that point in time. But yeah, so I think shortly after that, I ended up telling them, and then within the next, that was in June we went, and then I stayed until August 9th. So I stayed there exactly a year, a little over, like 5 days over. And it was an experience, to say the least. But basically why I left was I think I had like a realization of like what was like important in my life and where I wanted to be, especially after going through like 3 big like losses, I guess. It just was like the most important thing to me is being by my family, not being away from them. And then I think also my sister being pregnant, she was due, literally, I got back into San Jose like August 11th, and my nephew was born August 19th. And the thought of me missing the birth of him, like, literally makes me so, like, oh, it was like, that was so hard for me. I was like, if I, like, miss it, I don't know what I will do. Like, I'll go into panic mode. So very thankfully, I did not miss it. But yeah, that's basically why I left Texas. It was just really hard, and I miss all my friends. I miss my like coworkers and bosses and everything, but it's a lot better for me here. It actually took me, you know, when I moved back, I thought moving back it would just solve the issue, you know. I thought my anxiety would just go away, you know. I'm back where I need to be. It disappears now. Yeah, that didn't happen. It took like, I moved back in August, and I want to say I didn't feel like normal again till like January. And even then I still have times where I'm like, oh, like what is this? But
I mean, I feel weird living back at home. It's almost, oh wait, it's May what?
19th. 20th.
Oh, wow, I think it's been a month.
Is it 20th?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I think it's been a year since I moved back home.
Yeah, I feel like what I've learned from all of this is that you should really, I don't know, where else? You should like follow what you think is like right, because most likely it is.
Like your intuition.
Your instinct, like, yeah.
Well, it's.
Does that make
Did you think it was going to be temporary, like when you first moved there? Because She used to, growing up, well, in like high school mostly, I remember, I was like, oh, that'd be cool to like live in the country someday. I thought more along the lines of Tennessee. Oh, yeah, you thought Georgia. I thought more along the lines of Tennessee. But your family also at one point was like talking about Texas. So I thought, oh, what if Jennah like moves there forever? But in your mind, what did you think going into it, you know?
I was open to the possibility of forever, but I thought, I don't know. I was open to the idea of forever, but I didn't really know until I was there. I think I kind of thought 2 years for a while, then
yeah, I remember you talking about that. Just like, because it'd be a good length of time, even just for a job.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, 2 years would be good, and then I think the first like personal reason that happened after that, I honestly thought I would move back then for a while, and then my parents were like, no, just give it another shot and see how things go, and then it got like better, and I felt like better in the situation. And then I was like, oh, okay, like 2 years. I kept going back to like the 2 years. And then I think as things like got worse, or like I was there longer and more kept happening, I just kept being like, okay, I can only do like a year, or like, I don't know, a year and a half or something. And then I want to say like, yeah, maybe like halfway through I was like set on like a year almost. I was like, I think I can only do this for so much longer before I like completely break. Then I feel like I did break almost. Like that coming back, the whole Disneyland trip, and then that was like, it was like I can't anymore. It's very interesting.
I feel like it's good though you had that experience, because now you know, like you do want to always be near some kind of family, and the idea that you had even back in high school of like, oh, it'd be so fun to like live in the South. I mean, I know other states are different, and they're not all necessarily going to be flat, and they're not all going to be the same, but I think it taught you like, no, this isn't where I see myself thriving. This isn't where I necessarily want to be. It works for other people, but it doesn't work for you.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you would have known that otherwise. Like, what if you committed to like making a big move with someone like after getting married, and you thought that's what you wanted, you know?
Exactly. And I do think it would have been different, say I moved out there with my family, because I would have had them with me, and I would have just gotten over the fact of like, oh, there's no mountains and stuff like that.
And some of the other like things.
Yeah, the other minor things, but for the most part, the most part of why I think it was so hard was I wasn't with my family. And then there's obviously other little things that added to the problem that I was like, no, this place isn't for me, because there's no mountains. Or like, there's no ocean and things like that.
Yeah. You can read books, you can do crosswords, you can watch movies. I don't know. I like birds.
They smell gross.
There is that.
And like, there's so many germs. I'm not even a germaphobe. I'm kind of a germaphobe. Did I have ever told you I used to wash my money?
No. I'm not a germaphobe. I used to wash money's very dirty. I always use hand sanitizer after I've held money,
always after,
because I have to handle it at work, and then I just feel like the grime and the dirt.
In middle school, I used to take all the money I would get, and I'd put it under the sink and put soap on it and scrub it down.
Dollar bills?
Oh, what? And then I'd let it air dry.
Did you ever accidentally rip them?
No. I was very careful. And I just would get it all wet and clean, and then I'd dry it, and then let my money. Yeah, maybe
I never knew this about you. Wow, I just learned something new. Jennah used to wash her money.
It gets in strippers' butts. You know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, aside from that, just the fact that so many people are handling it.
I wash stashed my money in middle school. But yeah, basically the point of this video was just letting people know why I moved back from Texas, because I feel like a lot of people knew I moved to Texas and then I like moved back super quickly. At least if you follow me on like social media for the past like 2 years.
Well, it was a year later. It wasn't like you were only there for a few months, but yeah.
It's just, it was a very hard time in my life, and I'm very thankful to be past that time now. Especially now that I'm like very much removed from it, I guess. Like I've kind of, like say when I moved back in August till like the January time, I was still like dealing with like, not repercussions, but I was still dealing with like so much anxiety and stuff, I feel like. So now that I'm like kind of past that, it's like, whew, it's like a breath of fresh air. A breath of fresh air.
Wait, did you get it that time? I can't even tell.
A breath. I think I said a brush.
I think you did.
A brush of fresh air.
Oh my gosh.
A breath of fresh air. I can speak English.
Can you?
No.
I trip over my words all the time, so it's okay. I think that's generally the case for a lot of things, is when you're in the situation.
Feels like heartbreak.
Yeah, it's hard not only to deal with it and process it, but it's also hard to speak about, and it's hard to see any silver linings or see any lessons learned, essentially. So, I think this is a good time that you're able to reflect on it and share it.
Yeah, and let everyone know. It gets better at the end of the tunnel. Is that a saying?
No, but that's okay, not that I'm aware of.
It gets better. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it gets better with time. I think you just combined those two sayings.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
The worst part, man. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I was like, there's a dramatic pause. What is she about to say?
No, actually, the worst part of all of this was right when I moved back. Maybe like a little bit after I had moved back, I would go to sleep and I'd have nightmares, and then I'd wake up and I'd instantly have anxiety. I was so awful.
I remember you saying you had nightmares. She would tell me she had
for like
nightmares.
a month straight. I just had
bizarre
nightmares, and it's just not a good time. But I'm glad to be over that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to close this. If you ever
that's
need,
her story.
Yeah, that's my story. If you ever need help, you should like reach out to people. Definitely talk to your friends, talk to your family. If you don't want to talk to them, you could talk to a therapist, talk to the bugs on the floor, talk to the birds in the sky.
Yeah. Also, I just want to make a point, because you mentioned that therapy is not something to be ashamed of. I think people are spreading that message more and more.
I personally didn't go, but I always wanted to.
I still want to.
Yeah.
Even though I had some rough times over the years, and even a few months ago, I really want to go. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Even if you don't have good health coverage, there's so many other options nowadays. There's like that one that everyone promotes on YouTube. Is it Better Health or Better Help or something?
I don't know.
One of those ones, I think. And I haven't looked that much into it, but I might end up doing that. Whether or not you have issues you're dealing with, I think it's very insightful to maybe in the future.
Use code Jennah&Katy for 10% off. Just kidding, don't, because it's not real.
It's not real.
Sorry.
Maybe in the future. I kind of want to use their services.
Yeah.
But even if you're not having issues, it's still something that can be very insightful, especially from people I know who have just gone just to learn more about themselves. Just a little spiel to put in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people forget to put themselves first in a lot of situations. And I mean, I'm definitely like a victim of doing that as well. I tend to put everyone else before myself and forget, like, you know, like, especially in like this situation, whereas like my own health is like being affected of me being here. Like, I need to take care of myself. So just remember.
Yeah. We're not saying be selfish.
No. Sorry, that could be taken.
I also, I don't know, because then the word selfish, even that, like, has the way that people think about it is different too. But basically, just take care of yourself. Also, know that you can't help others unless you are in a good place yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't necessarily enjoy time with others or be your best self for other people if you're not being your best self. How can you expect to be your best self around others or for others and enjoy things and be, like, you don't want to, I don't know. Just, you're going to also be affecting the people around you. So aside from, like, doing it for your own well-being and your own benefit, it's also going to affect the way that you interact with the world and other people around you.
Your relationships with other people.
Yeah, exactly.
All kinds of
Everything
things.
is so interconnected, all right? You can't just have good physical health. Mental health is very important.
Yeah. And I've never been one... I guess I was naive to the fact of, like, your mental health until, like, this occurred. Because I had never really experienced anything other than, like, a heartbreak
but it's also
one time.
Something that
and, like, even that was nothing compared to what I had felt for, like, this whole situation.
The thing is, like, schools, at least, like, the schools we've gone to and a lot of schools in the U.S., I feel like as a whole, don't really talk much about the importance of mental health. Mm-hmm. You don't really get told about it, you know, like, unless it's like your family, someone who maybe works in the health and wellness field in your family and they emphasize mental health, or someone else who you're really close with does. Like, we're not educated on it.
But if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and we're going to be posting every Tuesday and Fridays. We just started a new Instagram called Jennah&Katy, and is spelled out. Woo, it's just like our YouTube. We will be posting more fun content there, like funny clips of, I don't know, outtakes or just random stuff.
Maybe things that's not included, things when we're just hanging out, if it's just recorded, maybe even on the phone or something.
Or like behind the scenes of us filming, if we're like doing something fun like camping like we did in our last vlog. Just take care of yourselves.
Yes, it's very important.
That's all I gotta say.
Should we end it?
Yep. Peace from Jennah&Katy. We out.
I thought you were gonna spin so we could be sideways.
Oh. We out.